how'd you say it last time? Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema.
Hey, high five. Wait, over here. Give a high five.
No, that was a fun match.
That was. Man, where to begin with this one? Fort Wayne FC versus Indy 11. Why cover?
USL Cup.
Why only cover one when you can cover both? USL Prinks Tires Cup. Results are in, and they are scrumptious. So,
dude, that was such a good match.
Yeah, it was an incredible match. 2-2.
We were there.
2-2. You, me.
2-2 went to pens. It really was like kind of like everything I wanted a soccer match to be.
Yeah.
And I think I was really happy. What I was really happy about was I didn't tell you this, but I actually met some people that I know that usually don't go to soccer matches. And I met them there. And then I saw them before the match. And I was just chatting with them like, oh, yeah, this is, they're like, oh, I love the stadium. Really excited, watch the game. Da, da. I'm like, yeah, awesome. And then after the match, I came up to them and I was like, so what'd you guys think? And they're like, oh my gosh, they're like, I didn't know it was going to be like this. And
really?
Like, honestly, yeah. And I was like, honestly, this was, again, absolute cinema. It was just
absolute cinema.
It was something that you just needed to be there to like see like fully, and be invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you're dedicated, diehard Fort Wayne FC fan, Indy 11 fan, casual, neutral, whatever you want to call it. Anyone and everyone that was watching that match inside that stadium was probably enthralled by what was going on.
Yeah. So did you know these people, or you just kind of ran into them?
Yeah, they're just friends of mine, and they weren't really into soccer like that.
But they walked away with a really good impression.
Yes, they walked away with a very good impression.
You can't get better than that. You can't get better than that. That was just spectacular. Yeah.
Hats off to the front office of Fort Wayne FC and getting things, a little bit more put together stadium wise. I really think the stadium's coming along really nicely. Parking and the congestion, honestly, still an issue just because it's just a very interesting setup with the way the traffic is kind of condensed into one location. But I think that'll sort itself out as time goes on.
Yeah. So to start off the match, there was this crowd of people that were it was the BYB, or the Brickyard Battalion, who were
Battalion came through.
They came through
heavy.
Real heavy at the very start of the match. The match not even started. We were not even warming up yet. These are pictures of the warm-ups and stuff, and you can see the game kind of starting off. But the very first picture that we had in this like little run through here was the Brickyard Battalion making noise, like
coming through the concourse, making noise.
They're saying, like they're trying to establish their presence here, and you can kind of see them in that far corner right there. They're walked around the whole stadium, only to go all the way out there and basically set
up shop there
and say, hey, this is gonna be a game. Of course, it was early in the game, so people are still kind of coming in, and warm-ups happened. This time, I got good feedback that the parking situation, the traffic situation wasn't as bad. That's what I've been told this time around. The parking still kind of a little bit here and there, not quite as fluid as they wanted it to be. There was some feedback that it'd be really nice if there was like letters up on top, like saying like A1, so you know where you park, things like that. But it's not a really big parking lot either, so it's not like you can lose your car. So at least this time it wasn't as bad. players were getting warmed up. There was a lot of good activity going on, and the game started. So the first 20 minutes, it was really Indy 11 heavy. They were attacking. Probably 25, 30 minutes was like that. Around the 25th minute, I think this is when we in Fort Wayne started to kind of like kick it into gear. So that was like the first few attempts kind of happening at that point in time. But the first few minutes, you kind of thought, hey, like this is not going to be a good game overall if this continues. Until probably can't remember. I think it was Lillian's attempt up the pitch.
Yeah, Thiago Dias kind of put him through. Dias likes to just kind of, pierce that midfield and then just keep going. And then eventually he just picks his head up, and then whoever makes a run, he's going to try to pass it to him because eventually he's going to have to kind of drift back to the back line. So Lillian kind of just took one look. He kind of took a peek, shot. I don't know if he just scuffed it or if the ball slowed down on the pitch. I don't know what happened. But then Dick was able to, the keeper, the Indy 11 keeper, was able to get that save. And
so this is the run that Lillian was making. Kind of got behind him, okay, but he was able to recover. He's really fast. I know he's said this before,
quick.
But he actually is really fast.
The pitch itself is pretty slow, and then Clarence Awudor there got on the end of that. I think he got his head to it somehow.
Yeah. He was able to like get his head to it. I think or maybe it's shoulder. I couldn't see it.
Just kind of glance it. Yeah. And later on in the match, I think the pressure from Indy 11 kind of came in a little quicker than Fort Wayne expected, and then Quinn got the opening goal.
Yeah. So
it was kind of just like a pinball in there. It was a pinball inside of Fort Wayne FC's box, and then all of a sudden Quinn got a shot. Briscoe got a good save on that actually, and then Quinn got the rebound somehow, some way, and then ended up scoring.
Yeah, so this is actually the attempt kind of coming at it. Actually, I don't even think this is the one.
Yeah.
But there he goes.
So he's driving,
1, 2, 3, boom, bam, bop, bada, bop, bam, pow.
It just kind of pinballs between the player in front of him and him, and it just kind of keeps going forward.
Yeah.
So probably he just, I think it might be one of those goals where the coach is like, hey, someone needs to just like really just like put their foot through it.
Yeah.
Put their foot through the ball, the man, both, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that put Indy 11 1-0. Now, again, I don't know if I have to set the stage. I don't know if that has to happen, but just imagine two teams. One's in the second division, the other one's in the third division. The second division team, which is like I guess predicted the better team, is now 1 up. And then here comes Fort Wayne with the next attempt, just coming in. Okay, we're down 1. Didn't stop them.
Had a really good
another good. Yep.
Almost took the shot, and then Tag Healy kind of quicker than anyone else to the ball, quicker than the keeper trying to get his own rebound, quicker than all the defenders.
Once again,
gets his goal. He just keeps scoring.
Yeah,
just keeps scoring.
Once again, the leave from Lillian. He did.
That's the second time.
That's the second time he's done that. He gave the leave, which gave a great shot. And then basically the residue of that shot, Tag Healy just collected.
And then after that, the first half was kind of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Not much happened after that. Not too much happened. And then the second half started. And the second half, I think right away, there was a chance for Indy 11. I don't think Fort Wayne FC completely knew that they were playing the second half again. That they started playing the second half, and then all of a sudden, Indy 11 had Rendon, I believe, threw on goal, and he just kind of missed his shot. He just gets it wide. I don't know if Briscoe had it covered. It seemed like he would have saved it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was getting pretty
Briscoe
strikingly
was out there pretty quickly. And then Briscoe had some good saves actually at the beginning of the match, the first half.
Yeah.
One he kind of saw all the way, the other one he didn't, and he was still able to get a hand to it or two hands.
Yeah. But then
Same
obviously
player we mentioned earlier with Rendon,
one
Rempel
one.
kind of gets caught ball watching,
Mm-hmm.
and then Rendon
Pow.
gets behind him. That was just a
Pow.
good ball. It's hard to defend against a ball that like gets just placed right behind your back and you're that close to goal. But yeah, Rendon gets his goal.
Yeah. And I've look, I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of Rempel. Sorry, I messed that one up. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Rempel, but I think he was a little surprised because you
Yeah,
can
that the
kind of
ball
see
came
him
in like
yeah,
that.
it kind of turned, looked like it kind of turned on him, and he looked over and he just saw that Rendon might have just slipped away from him a little bit.
And he didn't even get the best contact. Rendon,
Yeah.
you know, he's gonna finish that kind of goal, but you know, it just goes to show you that it doesn't have to be the prettiest goal, and you still have the lead now.
Mm-hmm. So 2-1. These guys are now coming in hot and heavy with the 2-1 at the 65th minute.
They're in the driver's seat.
They're in the driver's seat. They're feeling pretty good. You're thinking, oh man, you know, is this going to be it?
Things did get a little chippy.
Yeah, they did.
Things did get a little chippy somewhere in that second half, not towards the end, but like somewhere in the middle. Once Indy 11 had the lead, they just took their time doing everything. The subs,
Yeah.
the injury stops, all that, the throw-ins. They took their time, and then I don't know what happened over there, but maybe Fort Wayne player didn't appreciate that or something. But they got into a little scuffle, so that was always good to see. I mean, it's good to see like a derby like that where you actually like have some emotion behind it.
Yeah.
And then coaches both make subs. Coaches probably both hope, obviously both hope that the subs work, that they put on the players to either defend or to attack, whichever one's winning or losing.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Avery does make some changes, brings on Emerson Nieto, brings on Gafar, as well as brings on Thomas. Thomas coming back from injury. And I remember Dustin from Fort Wayne Footy and I were kind of looking at each other and we're like, okay, we're hoping this guy makes, he makes something happen because he's been out of the picture for a while. This is his first match back. They're down 1. They need a goal here. And we say that, and then maybe like 2-3 minutes later, he does a slide.
He does a slide tackle. I saw
yellow
that
card. And I was like, not like that.
Not like that. Not like that. I was
I could see what he was trying to do. He's trying to win the ball back way up the pitch.
Yeah.
Like way up and try to, just poke the ball away, but doesn't get any of the ball.
I saw that too. I said
maybe gets a little bit of the ball, but basically mows down the Indy 11 player and gets a yellow card for that. But then he does redeem himself.
He does redeem himself.
I was up at the supporter section. You were down pitch side.
I was pitch side. I was taking photos. I was there.
You had the yellow bib.
I was down below, yellow bib, taking photos, and I was on the side of this next upcoming goal. So, again, they are down 1, right? And Fort Wayne FC.
So they're down 1. It's the 90th minute. I think the fourth official just put up the sign that's like 5 minutes of
quite literally
time.
Quite literally.
Yep. 5 minutes of additional time, and then all of a sudden we're building.
So here it comes.
Jack Thomas passes one, shoots. Dick gets a good hand to it, or like almost 2 hands, I think. And it just creeps in still.
Yeah.
And
celebrating like crazy. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Look at this.
Three Rivers Regiment was going absolutely insane up there. I was up there and there were just limbs. All I could see were just limbs. Look,
there
everywhere,
I am.
Flags, smoke and bubbles.
I was surprised. Where'd the bubbles come from? Because I was just below that. I didn't even see no bubbles there. Where did the
bubbles come from?
Yeah, where'd the bubbles come from?
I kind of want to lie to you. Just be like, there's guys blowing bubbles. But they have a bubble machine, Carlos. They have a bubble making machine.
Oh, okay.
They have a bubble making machine.
So 2-2. Obviously in the this is actually kind of strange. This or not strange, but different. This is different from what normally happens. So when you have a 2-2 match like this, especially in any tournament, or if it's kind of like high stakes type scenarios, a few things happen. One, either you walk away and you get you kind of get the 1-1. You share the point.
You share the 1 point each.
No
one gets 3 points, but no one gets 0 points.
Nobody gets 0 points. Number two, you either go to extra time and you continue to play until someone scores and then go to penalties, or you just go to penalties and then the winner or loser advances. Something along those lines. In the USL Prinks Cup, the Prinks Tires Cup, this scenario results in an automatic penalty shootout.
Penalty shootout, yep.
The winner of the penalty shootout gets 2 points, and the loser gets 1 point. So that's the key difference between any other scenario. Is just the fact that you get 2 if you win the penalty shootout, and 1 if you lose it. Okay.
So no matter which way you kind of slice it, Indy 11 is really kicking themselves for not being able to secure all 3 points.
Yes.
Being forced to go into penalties, which they could have obviously easily lost. They didn't. We'll see here in a second, but I do want to say that last little bit where Thomas scores a goal and it's going insane. That's just that's everything football or soccer is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like just so much emotion, euphoria, probably heartbreak also over on the Brickyard Battalion side and Indy 11 supporters.
Yeah. So
they go into penalties.
They go into penalties, and first shot is Lillian Ricole, who scores his goal 1-0. Yep. So it's a 1-0 shootout so far, looking good for Fort Wayne. I said this in our like 4-way call on the Fort Wayne Footy channel, but I really did think Fort Wayne was a force to be reckoned with all of this.
I think I do want to point out that we did have a match preview with Fort Wayne Footy. Appreciate you, Brian, for inviting us, and Brian and company. As well as on there was Brett from Kit Season and Michael from Cue the Smoke. And we just kind of discussed the match preview, like what does a derby mean in terms of this match that has never been played before between these two teams. What does it mean, and what can we see from it? And we got a lot of close predictions. We pretty much got someone spot on. I believe it was Brian mentioning 2-2, and then
Brett called it almost to a T.
I believe it was Brett that mentioned that there was going to be a 90th minute equalizer.
Yep. So in the penalty shootouts, Take Healy missed his goal. This is now Quinn. He scored his goal. So Fort Wayne is kind of sweating right now because they're down 1. But I've seen scenarios like this, and the losing team in this position sometimes comes back, right? So sometimes that happens. Emerson up to shoot. He kind of slowly goes in, and bam, goalie stopped it. So now they're really sweating because now they're down 2. Now, not many teams get out of this one, but it's still possible. It is still technically possible.
But I think we just let it slip away. If you're thinking about Fort Wayne as a Fort Wayne fan, if you're thinking, okay, we have the lead, we're 1 up, now we just need to have, a stop, or they miss, or we just keep scoring, and then Thomas comes up, the hero, and just it just goes right over the bar.
Yeah.
Lean back a little bit, and that's what happens.
Yeah, but overall,
that was such a fun match to watch.
Overall, incredible game. I mean, I don't even like. I'm not even. I don't know. It was a great game. I didn't. I'm lost for words here already. I really am lost for words because
You've been talking for a while, and he says he's lost for words.
I'm lost for words. I don't even know what to say. I'm just proud of both teams. I'm very proud of Fort Wayne.
They played really well. Both teams, I think, played well.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of too many mistakes. I would call it we're just when it's maybe a goalkeeper makes a really bad error, or an own goal or something like that happens where it just kind of deflates like one team a lot. Nothing like that really happened, and both teams are kind of up to the challenge.
Yeah. Now, to end this all, there is one last beautiful thing that I absolutely loved about the ending of this whole game. So, for one, after the whole thing, obviously there's going to be some heartbreak. There's going to be some like disappointments and overall.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really appreciated was this final like prayer circle that they had at the end of the match. And
Okay. Oh yeah.
I was super impressed by this because it wasn't just like Fort Wayne guys, it wasn't just Indy guys, it was both teams in here, both huddled up, kind of doing a little prayer circle at the very
Mm-hmm.
end. It kind of showed what I thought was really cool was like, yes, we kept calling it a rivalry, we kept calling it a derby, the Hoosier Hostility. You can call it whatever you want, Victory and Liberty Derby. But these guys, I think, have a great respect for each other. You can tell because nobody, not just anybody, does things like this. This is what I highly like respect and loved about the ending of the game after everything was said and done. So
Yep.
it means
Very
a
well
lot that these guys kind of said, "Hey, you guys want to kind of circle up and just kind of do a quick prayer." I thought that was cool.
Yep.
And that's my friend.
And that is
That is that.
the end of
Isn't that?
the second match for both of these teams in that group.
Mhm.
The USL Cup is kind of divided into groups, kind of like more or less by geographic region. And right now, Fort Wayne and Indy, even after this match, neither of them are doing too hot because they're both kind of towards the bottom of the table.
Mhm.
The number one seeded team is going to move forward. So everyone plays each other once, I believe. Is that true? Yeah, 6. Everyone plays 6 matches. Yeah. Everyone plays each other once. And so far, looks like the two, or actually, Lexington has played 2 matches. So Lexington looks pretty comfortable. Or Louisville, excuse me.
Louisville,
Lexington
yeah,
is second.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Lexington
Louisville
is
looks pretty
second.
comfortable. Lexington and Union Omaha, followed up by Detroit City.
Yeah, with Detroit City still having to play Lexington, so if one of those, if one of those two teams wins, then both that winner of that team and Louisville City are going to basically have the better chance of advancing. So even regardless of these results, it almost seemed like at this point it's almost really hard to get out of the group stage for both Indy and Fort Wayne.
Yeah, obviously Indy has a better chance because they just have more points. But when you're looking at it, and obviously probably when Indy 11 plays one of those teams ahead of it, they just have to win.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to win, and they just have to leapfrog those teams that are above them to actually get there. And then also the best second place team also advances.
Correct.
But that's just usually that's down to like things like goal difference, because a lot of times the second place teams are all going to pretty much have the same amount of points, more or less, with a they do play 6 matches, so it could be a bigger difference than like a smaller group, but still, don't count on being the best second place team. Just try to be number 1 in your group and then just go through clean.
I noticed that this game is considered a draw. So does that mean that Indy or Fort Wayne is still undefeated at the Roo?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Wow. I know they went to penalties, but in this table, it's calling it a draw.
I didn't think of that.
Am I right? Or am I right?
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. Because I feel like when you lose a penalty shootout, you lose the match.
You lose the match.
Technically, with what it's saying here, it's saying it's a draw. This is a good question, Carlos. This is good. You're being philosophical here. I feel like you're being real meta.
Use my noggin. I'm not just a A mustached face.
You're just not a mustache.
Not just a mustached face.
There's a brain in there.
There's a brain in there. So, okay, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys haven't been to a Fort Wayne FC game, you guys have to. Okay, I'm telling you, or even an Indy 11 game. Like both teams are actually like really good teams.
Get your parking pass.
Get your parking pass.
FC. Don't forget your parking pass, because they really want you to have your parking pass before you actually get there. But then also, buy your tickets, of course. But when you buy your tickets, I mean, come on up to the supporters section. It is standing room only. All right, but come on up to the supporters section if you're able to, and get loud, get rowdy.
Yeah,
get loud and rowdy.
For sure. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're gonna keep doing this the long run out here. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is our icon. Hit the bell icon. Okay. Remember, absolute cinema. It's all absolute cinema. Okay. That's all we can say about this right now. Absolute cinema. You want cinema? You can go to the movies. But why go to the movies when you can go to Fort Wayne FC game or Indy 11 game?
Or any USL
absolute
match,
cinema.
Actually.
That's all I gotta say, guys. Absolute cinema. Hey, we'll catch you guys later.